what's going on.
Steve talked Monday about the need to scale back the offense. I'm sure you've had conversation with him or Mike. What does that entail, or what are you guys trying to do with that?
I think just make sure that the plays that we have in the game plan, everyone's comfortable with. Versus multiple looks, just really feel like we own the plays that are in the game plan that week. As opposed to having so many calls on the sheet that maybe we know them, but we're not owning them the way that we should. And then I think the thought is just allow everyone to go out there and play faster. Simplify everything a little bit, and hopefully it shows up in the speed in which we play.
You mentioned last week that there were times when maybe you weren't completely sure of the throw you were making, and maybe that was going to bother you. Does owning the plays, would that help you in terms of being comfortable on whatever throws you might be making out there?
Yeah, I think it would help everyone.
As you look at those two games, what are the things that you see most that you can be critical of yourself about?
Just finding a way to make positive plays. I think looking back last week, there were a couple times early in the game, just get the ball to Dave, get the check down. It's 1st and 10 instead of trying to force the issue, and try to kind of generate something for us. Just let it happen organically. Get us into 2nd and 4, get us into 2nd and 3, where we can do a little bit more, as opposed to constantly playing the game in 2nd and 10, and having to try to claw back into it so we're not in 3rd and long all day.
Are you playing at all with, of course you wouldn't know what your subconscious is thinking, but the knee and not wanting to hurt yourself or anything else, are you playing cautiously?
I don't believe so. I would say no to that.
Are there other things that you're changing this week to make you more comfortable with offense?
Like I said, just try to go out there and execute and, play well.
Sam, what do you see from this Bears defense?
Similar to last week, they've got a really good front seven. That group, has played well. You look at what they've done the past 2 weeks, we know it's going to be a challenge. They're well coached, they're well schemed. It's going to be a good defense this week.
Steve said one of the things he would like to see you do a little bit better is step up in the pocket and be a little firmer in there. Is that something you've seen on film the last 2 weeks that you're conscious of this week and you will be on Sunday?
Yeah, I think there have been, instances where I can help those guys out, and maybe step up and climb through some of the traffic.
Everybody says get the ball to David, but in open space, that sounds probably a lot easier than it is. But what are some of the things you can try to do to get him where he's most dynamic and most effective?
I think with Dave, it's just, if you give him enough opportunities, he's eventually going to make a play. And I think it's just, staying committed to finding ways to get him the ball, whether it's in space, whether it's in the box. I think he's shown that, he can make plays regardless of where he's at as long as the ball's in his hands. So I think it's just staying committed to getting him his touches, and allowing him to be, himself.
Has Khalil Mack become the kind of player when you get up to the line of scrimmage, you're going to have to find out where he is?
Yeah. I think, that's one of the things we talked about today, and just making sure that, we're aware of where he's at, some different blocking schemes to help our guys out, and just making sure that he doesn't ruin our game.
Because he can do that.
He can, yes.
How tough has this been for you with a new team coming in and then the offense just kind of doesn't show up for you?
Yeah. Obviously it's frustrating. I think, all of us, you put so much time in the off season, in training camp, during the regular season, during practice, during your film study, that, you want to go out and you want to play well, and when you don't, I think it's very frustrating, just given the amount of time and the amount of effort that you put into it. So it's definitely been a frustrating 2 weeks, but, I think, you look at it as a challenge, look at it as a way to find a solution, to keep battling, to keep competing, and find a way to get better.
As an offensive unit, do you feel like, as a group, mentally, you guys are still pretty resilient, even with everything you guys have been through the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I do. I think the attitude's been great. I thought the effort, the attitude on the practice field today was outstanding as well. So I think mentally we're definitely all still there.
course, always, you've been around this long enough to know this, it's always the quarterback's fault, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, do you feel that kind of responsibility even when other things happen that you know you could be pointing your finger at, but I'm the quarterback,
I think as a quarterback, you always take ownership of the offense. To be honest, I don't really pay attention to what's being said outside this building. I just know that, however I do it, I've got to figure out a way, to get this offense going. Find ways to make plays, find ways to get us going. And I think that's how I've kind of tried to approach it this week.
It always sounds easier, though, than when you try to get on the field against a vicious defense to get things going, like against these guys this week or against the Rams last week.
Right.
Quality of what you're running into. That's what I'm getting at, I guess.
I'm not sure what you're getting at.
Okay. Well, the quality of the defense, I mean, it has a lot to do with how good the offense is, I guess.
I think in this league, every defense you play, is talented, has good players. Obviously, last week that defense was really good. We're not going to shy away from it. I still think we could have gone out there and done a better job and played better. And obviously, like I said earlier, we know this week's a challenge. I think we're up to it. We look forward to getting back out there and competing against this defense.
Do you feel like it's that close to getting fixed? Are you confident that after what we've seen the first 2 weeks, it's really not that far away from getting it fixed?
Yeah, I think you have to have that confidence. I think we all believe that. I think, like I said, I don't think it's anything drastic. I think it's just a bunch of little things, that are happening here and there. It kind of seems like we've all kind of taken turns making mistakes, and I think if we can find a way to get some of those fixed, which I don't think should be an issue, I think it is close. Sometimes that is easier said than done. Trying to get all of that accomplished in a week, but I think we can do it. I think everyone believes that. Our goal is to go out there and to prove that.
Can you harken back on any experience previously in your career where maybe outside people thought the sky was falling, but you were able to bounce back, and then you guys had a nice performance, and the tenor kind of changed because you guys showed more than people maybe thought you had?
Yeah, actually, I think in 2013, we started the year, I think 1-3, just didn't really play well. We had kind of decided that we were going to kind of transition to a more spread, different type offense. And, after week 4, Fish kind of brought us in and he's like, listen, we're going to change things up. We're going to go back to who we are. We're going to run the football. We're going to play action. We're going to do things, the way we've, really known how to do them. And, we came out the next 2 weeks, played really well, won both those games and kind of got things turned around. So, I think there have been some times I've been in a situation like this.
You and Josh both spoke a lot during the preseason about how much he's able to learn from playing with you. What's that relationship been like now that the season started?
Pretty similar. Still just trying to help him, during the week and film study and just point things out.
Thanks, Sam.
Marcus Golden and Jermaine Gresham were full today for his full participation. Larry, we held out again, hamstring. We want to make sure that we give him an extra day. And then also Rudy Ford was limited with his ankle. Thought we had a pretty good practice today. Guys were locked in and focused, a lot of energy. Good communication in all 3 phases, doing the things we got to do to execute. So I was pretty excited where we were from a mental standpoint, and we had pretty good execution throughout. And with that, I'll take questions.
Coach, what's the level of concern with Larry and his health?
Larry will be ready to go on Sunday, no question.
Do you anticipate Marcus or Jermaine finally being able to get in the field Sunday based on what you saw?
I hope so. Again, they were full participation today. They looked good when they were out there, doing some great things within, the scheme. So I'm excited about where they are, and hopefully they can take part this week.
Do you like that rotation, the way Benson's playing and Chandler and Marcus, if that happens to do?
I do, and you also have to understand too with Marcus as well as Jermaine just coming back. I mean, that's going to be a good rotation because you don't want to put too much on those guys. You want to try to make sure they get in there and get into a rhythm, but try to limit their reps.
You said after Sunday's game you were going to study everything. It's now Wednesday. Did you ever even think about making a change at quarterback? Were you saying, Sam's my guy?
Yeah, Sam right now is the quarterback, as I stated before. I don't think it's just the quarterback position. I think we have some issues across the board in all three phases, and we're working on those issues. I think we've done a great job trying to correct those issues, starting with trying to simplify things with the game plan, allowing guys to play fast. That's what I saw today, guys executing, doing the little things right. So, no, Sam's the guy.
With Sam being the guy, what are your conversations like with Josh nowadays, making sure that he's still focused but not getting too anxious?
Well, you look at Josh, he's locked in practice. He's doing the little things he needs to do to try to get every little detail that he needs. Byron does a great job keeping him in the fold for his communication. And those guys do a great job communicating with one another, talking about, Sam, Josh, as well as Mike. So I think he's locked in. I think he's still growing and progressing each and every day and trying to take advantage of every opportunity.
What do you want to see out of Sam differently, maybe just than what you saw in the first 2 weeks, besides moving the football, obviously?
Well, again, just, the inaccuracy. Sam is known to be able to put the ball where it needs to be. And regardless of why, we need to try to make sure that we correct that moving forward. Is it, the line? Is it just him? Is it the receivers? Again, everybody has a hand in it. Everybody's working on their craft, trying to correct it. And as I said before, I think we're going to do a good job this week moving forward, trying to simplify things and get the ball where it needs to go.
When it comes to getting that offense going, Sam said he feels like you guys are close to kind of fixing it, and she says just a couple little things that need to be fixed. Do you agree?
I agree. I really do. And I think, again, we got to put our guys in position to be successful. We got to put our guys in position to try to create some matchups. Say it all the time. This league is all about matchups. We see it every week. So we have talented players. We just got to make sure we put them in position to be successful, as I mentioned.
You talked about David the other day, and you said that most of what he's got is his own second effort. But what can you, from a scheme standpoint, to have him in a more open situation?
I think number one, we got to come off the ball. We got to come off the ball. We got to create a new line of scrimmage. We got to get to the second level to give David the opportunity to be able to get one-on-one, with the DB. So that's the main thing. And got to work on trying to get the ball outside on the perimeter as well, trying to flex him out a little bit, get him in the slot, move him around, and that's what we're working on.
Marcus and Jermaine are both passionate guys. Does that help on the field? Do you think that matters too?
Man, that is a major plus. Major plus when you start talking about a team that's 0-2, that needs a spark, needs some energy. Those two guys definitely bring that, particularly Jermaine. Very vocal, high-strung guy, loves to compete. He's going to get his teammates going, and Marcus is the same way. So I can't wait to get those guys back out there, and hopefully it's this week.
Coach, now that you've had a couple of days to have conversations with the receivers, how can they help Sam out?
Well, I've been saying it from day one. We got to create more separation down the field. Sam does a great job of throwing guys open, as I mentioned before, but we got to create separation, all right, coming back for the ball. We got to create separation down the field. Got to be able to, take some shots, loosen the defense up a little bit, those kind of things. So I think we're working on that. I think those guys are doing a great job at the line of scrimmage, trying to fight to get off the press, those kind of things. So, again, it's not just one thing. We're all in this together, and we got to find ways to make sure that we get this offense going in the right direction.
Andre Smith was out there. Is he back full, and will he start Sunday?
Andre was out there today, practiced, did some good things. Still going to take it day-to-day with him and see how it goes, but he's feeling pretty good.
When you talk about the offense doing things, when you look at them as a whole, do you like where they are mentally? Do you feel like even with the struggles of the first two games that group is still where they need to be mentally?
From a mental standpoint, yes, I like where they are. From a physical standpoint, the things that we're doing each day in practice, things that we're doing in the classroom, it has a carryover to the weekend. It has a carryover to Sunday from a physical standpoint. Mentally, I think we're at a good place. I thought we had a great practice today on the offensive side of the ball, starting up front. Those guys did some great things. So we just got to make sure that the details are carried over on Sunday.
How would you describe the impact Khalil Mack is having on games?
A major impact, you know. You just turn the film on, you can see it. He's doing some great things, you know. Sack, fumble, you know, interception for touchdowns, you name it. So you got to make sure you try to slow him down, neutralize him a little bit. I don't know if you can stop him, you know, but we're going to do a great job of trying to, you know, create some things, and hopefully we can try to slow him down a little bit.
That defense has been very opportunistic, hasn't it, the Chicago defense?
They have. They do a great job, number one, up front, getting out to the quarterback, which I think, you know, forces the ball to be thrown inaccurate at times. Those guys on the back end do a great job of breaking on the ball, making plays. I think Prince had an interception Monday night, pick 6 there. So they're very talented across the board, and they work well together.
What kind of progression has Trent Sherfield made from when he got here to now, and what does an undrafted guy like that have to do to kind of find a niche in the NFL?
Well, I think the number one word is consistency. You know, he has to be consistent because, again, making the 53 is great, but staying here, you got to continue to grind each and every day on your craft. And so far, that's what he's doing. I like his approach. I like how he practices. He's very smart. He pays attention to the details. I mean, he had a great day today. Whether he was on offense or whether he was on the show team, you know, he's still perfecting his craft and making plays down the field. So I like that.
With bringing in Kendall Wright, how much are you still trying to mix in people for that wide receiving group?
You know, the one thing I talked about, Catherine, all year, that we're going to make sure that we continue to try to, you know, rotate the roster. And I don't want anyone to get complacent. I don't want anyone to get comfortable. Today was receivers, and, you know, we just finished the workout. He looked good. I can take without making a move, so you can go ahead and, you know, write that down. But, you know, what we try to do, we try to create short lists in the things that we do. So if things do come up at whatever position, we can go back. We already have the guy in here. We already have a physical on him. We can just move right now. So that's the things that we're doing at all positions.
Are you pleased for the Elijah Penny? What he was able to, he's able to get a chance. Sorry to see him go, but
you know what? Elijah is a great guy. I'm happy for him. Let me say that, number one. He did a great job for us, not only since I've been here, but even just in the past before I got here, some of the things I heard about him. Just a complete pro. And to get an opportunity to be able to go and be on the 53, you know, to be active and try to get into a game and make some things happen, I'm happy for him. I know that's going to be, you know, something special. So hopefully he makes the best of it.
What have you seen in teams that start slow in your time in the league that pull them out of it? How do they pull themselves up off the mat?
I think the biggest thing is not wavering from what you believe in. You know, right now, I haven't done that, and the players haven't done that, as well as the coaches. Only thing that we try to correct is try to scale things down still within the system where we can play fast. Our beliefs, our philosophy is still the same because, once again, as Sam just alluded to and mentioned, we're 1 or 2 plays away. You know, and that's one of the things. I know it sounds crazy when you start talking about 34-0, those kind of things, but you can't get frustrated. You know, you got to stay the course. You got to believe in your philosophy, believe in your coaches, believe in your players, and that's where I am.